Yes, Stephen, thank you. This evening, thousands of boxing fans and Houstonians are remembering the life of legendary boxer George Foreman. His family announced his death on social media last night. They say he peacefully departed surrounded by loved ones and did not give further details on the cause of death. Now, Foreman was born in East Texas in the city of Marshall and raised in Houston's 5th Ward. He was known as one of the most powerful punchers in boxing history. He won Olympic gold in 1968 in only his 25th amateur fight, and he was also known for the George Foreman Grill, which debuted in 1994. He later returned to Houston to preach and become an ordained minister. Now, Foreman had 12 children, including 5 sons who are all famously named George Edward Foreman. And tonight we have team coverage on the life and legacy of George Foreman. His impact wasn't just in the boxing world. He dedicated much of his life to giving back to his community, especially right here at home.
He's not one of those how can I say, bad person, like, oh, I'm richer than y'all, like, I got my bodyguards. No, like, he would interact with people, like, he would. Like, he just another regular person in the area. Just, of course, he had fame, and, of course, we didn't have nothing, but, it's just crazy. I mean, he actually
treated people with kindness.
Yeah, he didn't degrade you, like, oh, I'm better than you. No, he was actually a good person.
Yeah, and this is just one of 2 lifelong residents our Michelle Choi spoke to who knew George Foreman back when he opened a youth center in Northeast Harris County. She shares how his impact continues to resonate in their lives.
Outside what was once the George Foreman Youth and Community Center now stands a single candle, a small but powerful tribute for a giant of a man whose impact went far beyond the boxing ring and deep into the heart of East Aldine, right here on Lone Oak Road.
After school and go over there and meet friends, and I had bonds with people there.
Jesus Gonzalez grew up here. In fact, he still lives right across the street from the center, which for nearly 4 decades served as a safe space for local kids like him. This center made a big difference for you guys?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why I liked living here, because it was so peaceful. There was nothing going on here that was bad. Everything was so good.
Was it disheartening to see it close?
Oh yeah, it closed, but everybody still respected the building and everything. It was, maybe it's gonna open back up one day, and we thought that was gonna happen, and it never happened.
Foreman wasn't just a name on a building. He showed up, and for the kids in the neighborhood, he was larger than life.
Meeting him is kind of like meeting a warrior. Like it's like you're meeting Hercules or something,
A humble hero, always giving back.
That's me and George Foreman right in that spot over there.
Jesus proudly points to a photo. He was just 18 when he snapped that moment with the champ. So hearing of Foreman's passing, it hit hard.
He was a really great guy. And I'm sadly gonna miss him.
Victor Vallejo shares the same heartbreak.
It's keep kids off the streets and just mainly help a lot of youth around this area.
He remembers getting boxing lessons at the center as a teen and the way Foreman carried himself.
He was a good people person. He's not one of those how can I say, bad person, like, oh, I'm richer than y'all, like, I got my bodyguards. No, like, he would interact with people, like, he would.
Because Foreman's roots here ran deep. Along with the youth center, neighbors say the ordained minister also opened a church down the street where he preached, prayed, and gave his time. For many, his legacy won't just be remembered, it'll be lived.
It stays with you forever. Like, legends never die. They live in all of us.
In Northeast Harris County, boom. Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, he definitely showed up for the community. Michelle, thank you. As one lifelong resident put it, a legend never dies. They live in all of us. George Foreman's legacy continues to resonate, especially in the boxing world. Our Zach Tawatari spoke with a local world champion boxer who was personally impacted by Foreman's life.
Yeah, they called him Big George, a nickname that was fitting for a mountain of an athlete, but more importantly, the larger-than-life person George Foreman was. The boxing world remembering him as just that, lightweight world champion Juan Baby Bull Diaz from right here in Houston, speaking to me about Foreman's huge heart.
A lot of people have talked about the kind of person that he was outside of the ring. You mentioned his softer side. What was he like?
The best way I can describe is him. When you watch a movie and you see a villain or you see the good guy You know, is that really how they are in real life? No. You know, in the ring, George Foreman was a beast. He was a monster. But outside of the ring, he had this, like I said, he's a big giant. He was like a big teddy bear. He had a giant heart. He loved to help people.
Being from Houston as well, did you take some pride in meeting him, knowing that, hey, this incredible world champion came from Houston? I'm also a world champion. I'm from Houston.
I went to his gym a few times. He supported me a few times when we had open workouts, when I was training. It always gave me that little bit of extra confidence, you know, like, hey, I got George Foreman, who's from Houston, Texas, and I'm not the only one. I have him in my corner.
Foreman, a Hall of Famer, finished his career with a 76-5 record. He won 68 of those bouts by knockout. Baby Bull telling me they just don't make them like Big George anymore.
No, they don't, Zach. Thank you so much. Very heartfelt. Now, the passing of the legendary boxer is hitting the community hard, with dozens of people taking to social media to reflect on his incredible legacy. On Facebook, several people commented on our posts about his passing. Here's what some wrote. Now, Larry A. Long Jr. said, truly the end of an era in boxing. We had three of the greatest boxers of all time at one time: Ali, Frazier, and George Foreman. You will be missed. Martin shared, very sad, he will be missed, but what a legendary life he lived. And Clem Garcia posted, may you rest in peace and may your legacy inspire future generations of boxers. Now on X, community activist April Aguirre, the aunt of 9-year-old shooting victim Arlene, expressed about George Foreman's lasting impact on the Houston community. She says Foreman was known for his generosity. Few know about the George Foreman Youth Center, where he provides free boxing training for kids. We proudly display these memories in our home every day. Thank you for giving so many kids like my husband a chance. And our very own reporter, Katira Winfrey, shared this picture of Foreman when she met him back in college right here in Houston. This is just a glimpse of all the community responses to the beloved boxer's death. And now our CBS News correspondent, Wendy Gillette, has more on Foreman's life and unforgettable legacy.
George Foreman launched his heavyweight boxing career and life in the limelight as an Olympian, winning gold in Mexico City in 1968. The native Texan then continued building his legacy, winning fight after fight and making history with his knockout victory over Joe Frazier in 1973.
Down goes Frazier!
But then came his downfall, the famed Rumble in the Jungle fight in 1974, an unexpected 8th-round knockout loss to Muhammad Ali, one of the most watched TV events of that time period.
I think Muhammad Ali and I did something for the world, because people in Saudi Arabia, China, Japan, all over Africa, Europe, they all stood up at weird hours of the morning and night to see that fight.
It was prefaced by plenty of pre-fight trash talk.
Called me the Frankenstein monster, only because I was.
The loss was one of the turning points of Foreman's life.
It was like I was mugged in the jungle. I went there with 2 title belts. I came home with none.
He could laugh about the defeat years later, after he and Ali became the best of friends.
Oh, he was the greatest man I ever met. To say he was the greatest boxer is a put down. He was bigger than boxing. He was bigger than anything.
Foreman wasn't done in the ring after leaving the sport in 1977, staging a comeback a decade later, following what he called a religious awakening. He won another heavyweight title, beating Michael Moorer in 1994 at the age of 45. Then came his second career as an entrepreneur, launching the George Foreman Grill, which sold more than 100 million units around the world.
George Foreman, and look out!
He was beloved for his spirit and sense of humor. His family announcing his death on social media with an emotional tribute, saying he lived his life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
A beloved legend remembered. Wendy, thank you. We're going to keep an eye out on more reaction to this big loss. A lot of people are also sharing their condolences and memories on our KHOU 11 Facebook posts. To read more about Foreman's legacy and his proud Houston roots, head over to our website, khou.com.